Okay, back at it. We are now in situ. The rack is in the restaurant. So this is my first video of actually being here. We've done a lot of work so far on the restaurant, but I wanted to get an update on the rack. A few things changed when I got here, as they usually do. Let's see here, if I go around the front, one thing is they had two cable boxes that I didn't have on my plan, so I had to find a spot for those. Ended up putting those here where I usually put the upshow units. The upshow units I moved down here on this shelf. It's probably a little hard to see. Let's see if I can get some more light here. There we go, it's a little better. So these units right here, most stores have these. I usually have these up here, but I decided to put the cable boxes up so they had a little quicker access to those since they might need those. We have the laptop shelf, all the supplies that we're getting added when we're here. So this is in place. I have got an issue with the cabling on this. Not sure how to keep that from falling in there. I've tried a few different options, some things to guide it back and stuff. Nothing really seems to be working very well so far, but we'll see. The control system, so the RTI, that is in place. The DBX unit, so this is the audio processor. This is getting reused. That's in place. DirecTV boxes, these guys are all in place. Amplifier, so amplifier's in here. This space is going to be reserved for, they had another unexpected thing, is this box they use for lottery, to display the lottery stuff on their TVs. So I got to add that in. It's kind of an isolated system, but it has HDMI output and a bunch of power, so that's got to get added into the bottom of the rack. Over here, we got those upshow units I was talking about. Again, it's a little hard to see here with the light, but got those all in place with their power supplies. Let's see if I can move this so you can see a little better here. Okay, there we go. DirecTV boxes, looks a little chaotic back here, but if I pop down here, you can kind of see I haven't finished sorting it all out, but all the HDMI cables come along, duck in. All the power cables are actually tied to the top here. These are B-band converters, which I'm hoping to be able to get rid of these and just do cable directly in, but I'm waiting to hear back on that. Amplifier down here, I'm working on getting power wired in for that. Audio lines are wired in there. These ones I pre-prepped. 4-channel, the other two are going to be used for subs, so these are just hanging out for right now, just tucking those back out of the way. Moving on up, you can see the back of the RTI unit. It's here. I got to get the power popped in for it. That laptop drawer, this is that cable I've been having time trying to figure out what to do with. Got the back of my cable boxes, HDMI, power. Back of this guy, this is the DBX. Get down here, we can see a little better. Got this all wired in, so these are the outputs. These are all our inputs. Got a few more to hook up, cable boxes and some stuff like that, but those are all here. The rest of this, I think you've all seen before as I was doing that. I took a long power strip from the existing rack, got that put in for all auxiliary power. I think that is pretty much where we're at. So brought it through some of the power cables. I ended up moving the main power cable. I'm actually bringing into this kind of auxiliary power strip. This will be always on power, and then this will feed my Wattbox unit. It's a little different than I normally do it, but I'm going to try it out and see how it works. I need to get this labeled good so that I know this is the main power. This power strip's rated for 20 amp, so I figure I'm going to run into that first and then run over to my Wattbox. Apple TV, got that plugged in, so that's all hooked up, as well as these are my satellite boxes 9 and 10 I popped in here also. So that is where we're at so far. Got to hook up cable, got to get this thing pushed into the rack alcove, but for now we are looking pretty good. Got the power secured up here, so that's ready to go. Down its umbilical. It's another reason I decided to use that as the main piece, is because it had a nice long umbilical with a 20 amp cord, so I think I'm going to make that the main power. Yeah, so that's where we're at so far. My battery is about dead, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and then I'll maybe start recording one more with some additional information, kind of a site overview, just give you an idea of what we've been doing, as long as my battery doesn't die. So that's it. Okay, so here's a little overview of the site so far. These TVs were existing. All the smaller ones are getting swapped out for larger ones. The larger ones are staying in place there. So yeah, you can see their construction's still ongoing. They're still getting things done. We are on day 3 of a 5-day project. So basically the next basically the next 2 days we have to finish up and knock this out. So it's a quick one, quick turnover, but get it done. But yeah, so this is just kind of what it looks like here in the restaurant. Coming across, we pulled in about 40, 50 lines yesterday. You kind of see if I can zoom in here a little bit. J-hooks, ran these all through. There's our black cable kind of stands out like a sore thumb. In this space where they had a light painted ceiling, which is kind of unusual. You can kind of see how our lines come across there. Try to keep them nice and neat so they don't necessarily have to paint them. They are going to be doing a little bit of touch up, but hopefully shouldn't be too crazy. This is the bar area. This is our rack alcove. You can see some wires we tied back in. There's some of the existing wires that are going to get added into parts of the bundle. Some stuff that's speaker wires there. Some of that's going to get cleaned up and discarded. Some of that's going to get added in. We'll see what we use. This is our rack umbilical right here. So this guy comes out. I'm having guys work on keystones. These lines here were some existing cat that was in the system. This is all of our new stuff. It's all going to get bundled together and brought together, but these ones we were able to do a few days ago. These ones didn't get finished being pulled in until yesterday. This is our main umbilical. So these ones all still need terminated. So we're going to get those done. And tomorrow the plan is to get the rack in place, get everything hooked up, and fire it off for the first time and see what works and what doesn't. So, but that's where we are at so far. I also wanted to give a quick look at the old rack. So this is the one we took out. There's a big RGB switcher in here. That's what all these colored cables are. It was a hybrid system, so it actually had AV over IP for some of their newer TVs when they added about 20, 30 TVs a few years ago. But yeah, so you can see where I've stole the power strip out. You can see all the power cables still there. Direct TV boxes used to be down in there. It's kind of a mess, not really easy to service. Also a really small rack. This was an early Chief model, super tiny, so not very wide. You can see the difference between how big the new guy is versus how big this guy is. But yeah, so that was the old setup. It wasn't too bad. It looked pretty clean from the front, but from the back it was kind of a disaster. We had originally done the install years ago. You can see how far we've come, just in our improvements in quality and things too. But one thing that made this even more of a nightmare to wire up was the fact that it was hybrid. So we had a full-size switcher, and we were squishing in all the AV over IP gear. Did have looks like at least one lacing bar in there, but not a whole lot. So there's not room for it. Those racks aren't deep enough to really allow for much. You can see how crowded this gets with all these power cables too, and they just had power, so I'm glad that we switched to doing those just strictly PoE. The Luxel switches on the top, those things I think were all replaced at least twice. Had real bad experiences with Luxel switches, so we avoid those now. That's why we're using the Netgears in the new one. So staying away from those guys. But yeah, like I said, all these guys I think were replaced at least twice. And this is a 4-hour drive to do that. We did that on our dime on all those. So that was had a number of sites that had that happen too. So like I said, put a bad taste in our mouth. But anyway, this is the old one. So you can kind of compare this one to the new one. We're gonna take a look at that. So of course everything now is labeled and cable managed, lacing bars, slack on cable, things like that. Feel like that makes a big difference in the quality of work. Have enough room in the rack, allowing space. A little crazy down here still, but I'm still working on cleaning that up a little bit. So, but anyway, that's where we're at so far. So just wanted to let you see kind of a before and after. Okay, final video I think for this rack. Everything's hooked up, got everything wired up. The whole restaurant is hooked up and going. Don't have signal assigned to all the TVs right now, but that's intentional. So yeah, so everything is lit up, looking good. All of our switches, all of our patch panels. You can see how nice the wiring kind of ends up looking. Got nice labels across here. are just a power transmitters. Most of them are flashing right now because I got a lot of the stuff turned off. Working on some changes on Sat 1 there, so I just have the one on so I can mess with that. Audio processors in and working, switches in. I need to toss some labels on this guy, but he is working. Cable boxes, the add-ons there. I've got my laptops in here, but theirs is underneath there. Up shows, their DirecTV boxes, power supply cable for my laptop in the way here. Lottery computer, audio amplifier. Going around to the side here. I don't think anything's changed a whole lot. Getting all my audio inputs, making sure I've got everything working and assigned. So that's what I'm checking right now. But I wanted to take a minute and do this video before I forgot, since I'm about to head out. This is some of the original DirecTV stuff. They have multi-switch. The guy came in this morning and installed their swim gear. So now a swim system. So I need to clean that up a little bit, but it's in. It's working. Got our preview transmitter, audio transmitter. Got to get that guy all straightened out. But he is in and ready. I can see our cable bundle coming in. Everything patched in and linked up in there. Got that all dressed nice. Audio amplifier down at the bottom. All the power's in. Got some labels and stuff to add, but nothing too crazy. Our umbilical here is all good. Got that all to the wall. Doesn't touch the floor even when the rack's pushed all the way in. I even put a little LED light in there for him to give you some light when you're working on this thing. So, gonna snap on the side panels and be pretty much finished up with this one. Like I said, got a few little items, some labeling, some stuff like that I want to finish up. But it is looking pretty good overall. So, love maybe another day on this. I don't know that I'm going to get it until I come back from service or something. But regardless, I've got some good pictures and everything. So even if there was questions or problems down the road, should have some good pictures and this video for documentation. So anyway, that's it. I think that is pretty much the end of this one. Hopefully it was interesting or helpful or whatever, but regardless, I think that's going to do it.